Hello everyone, and welcome to my Royal Family Politics channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. While admitting that she enjoys therapeutic gardening sessions, they sometimes leave her creeping. King Charles and Queen Camilla share a love of gardening, as evidenced by the tens of thousands of people that visit the grounds of the King's estate, Highgrove in Gloucestershire, every year. During a recent surprise trip to Northern Ireland, Queen Camilla talked about her love of gardening, a pastime she shares with her husband, King Charles. She discussed the advantages of spending time in the garden while the royal couple was staying in Armagh, but she did acknowledge that it could occasionally make her feel a little sore. She stated this past week, "I enjoy gardening. I love to garden fervently, and it's incredibly healing. However, I always linger too long. Everything groans and makes noises." Although it said she also helps Charles with his gardens at Burkhall, his Scottish home close to Balmoral, Camilla has her own gardens to take care of at Ray Mill House in Wiltshire. The King and Queen visited the Chelsea Flower Show on Monday, where they undoubtedly expressed their admiration for the creative horticulture on exhibit. Camilla admitted that she even likes weeding in a 2022 Country Life magazine documentary that was shot in the gardens of Highgrove. "You can go gardening and just immerse yourself in what you're doing and what you're planting," she said. "One of the most calming activities anyone can do is a little gardening, and you can also be extremely creative. Enter the garden and continue." The grounds were entirely overgrown when the King initially purchased Highgrove in 1980, but expert gardeners like Rosemary Very and Miriam Rothschild have helped to restore it. While on vacation in the Isles of Scilly, Prince William and Kate, Princess of Wales, stay at Dolphin House, the King's residence there. When the royals are not in town, the magnificent home can be rented out to the general public for £2,895 per week. The Tresco Abbey Garden, Sea Garden, Tresco Island Spa, tennis courts, and golf courses are all accessible to visitors staying at the site. The Prince and Princess of Wales took their young family on vacation to the archipelago's island of Tresco in October 2020, and they fell in love with it so much they went again in 2021. While on the island, the family was seen riding bikes, engaging in conversation with locals, and going on country treks. The Scilly Isles, 28 miles off the coast of Cornwall, have earned the nickname Cornish Caribbean for their stunning beaches and crystal-clear waters. They can only be reached by boat or plane, and there are boat services that transport people between the many islands. The Queen's address at Charles and Camilla's wedding, which made Camilla feel included. The wedding of King Charles and Queen Camilla took place on April 9, 2005. However, things did not go as planned. When the late Queen Elizabeth gave an emotional statement after her nearly 18-year marriage to the current King Charles, Queen Camilla was finally able to feel like a member of the family. Camilla was reportedly having trouble getting out of bed the day before the wedding owing to sinusitis, and she also had to deal with increased public scrutiny because of the fame of Charles' ex-wife, Princess Diana. The Untold Story by Penny Junor, a royal novelist, sheds light on the bride-to-be's anxiety on the big day. Camilla's sister, Annabel Elliot, even threatened to wear the bride's gown if she didn't get out of bed. Any worries Camilla had about not being accepted into the family were quickly allayed by the late monarch's gracious remarks following the event. "They have overcome Beckersbrook in the chair," the Queen remarked in reference to the Grand National fences at the Aintree racetrack. "I'm really proud of them and want the best for them because they have succeeded. My son is safe and sound at home with the person he loves." Princes William and Harry, sons of Charles, also expressed support for the pair, saying they were 100% behind them and wishing them all the luck in the world. Lucia Santa Cruz, the person who first introduced Camilla to Charles, was concerned that she wouldn't be able to attend the wedding because Camilla had been unwell in the week before. When the morning of April 9 arrived, Camilla was still not in the greatest of health, according to Lucia, who had brought her chicken soup in the hopes that it might help. 4 people, including Camilla's sister Annabelle and daughter Laura, were in her bedroom attempting to get her ready for the day and convince her to leave her bed. Even Annabelle, her sister, concurred. "Oak, that's fine. I'll handle it for you. I intend to change into your clothing." However, Camilla eventually made it down the aisle and wed the love of her life, the man she now serves as queen with. At Windsor Guildhall, the couple had a civil wedding. At St. George's Chapel, they had a Church of England service of prayer and dedication. As the head of the Church of England, Queen Elizabeth thought that witnessing the marriage of 2 divorced persons went against the values of the Church of England. Hence, she and Prince Philip did not attend the civil ceremony. She reportedly told one of her friends the week before, "I am not able to go," according to the Telegraph. "My position does not, in my opinion, permit it." She nevertheless attended the ceremony at St. George's Chapel together with Philip, and they afterwards hosted a banquet at Windsor Castle for the newlyweds. Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward, and their respective families were among the other royals present. Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopes, Camilla's 2 kids, her father Bruce Shand, her sister Annabelle Elliott and her family, and her brother Mark Shand were all present. The jarring coronation coverage on ABC by King Charles did not violate the rules of objectivity. In spite of receiving over 1,800 complaints regarding its coverage of the ceremony on May 6, the Ombudsman determined that ABC had not violated its criteria for impartiality. Although it was seen to be jarring and distracting for some viewers, the coverage of King Charles' coronation on Australian network ABC was ruled to not have violated editorial regulations on impartiality. 1,832 complaints were made in total concerning a section of the coverage that showed guests arriving at Westminster Abbey as a panel debated critical perspectives on the role of the monarchy in modern Australia, with the guests addressing Indigenous problems. The part aired from 5:15 p.m. to 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or from 8:15 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the UK, when the Abbey's first visitors began to arrive. While the ABC should always be fair, accurate, and open-minded, the Ombudsman stated, "The impartiality standards do not require that every perspective receives equal time, nor that every aspect of every argument is presented." The panel was moderated by Jeremy Fernandez and Julia Baird. Craig Foster, co-chair of the Republic Movement, and MP Julian Leeser, a supporter of a voice to Parliament that helps Australian Indigenous communities have a say in policy and legal decisions that affect them, also participated. The coverage included Stan Grant, who left his position as host of ABC's Key Plusa after receiving a barrage of racial insults directed at his Indigenous origin. More conservative voices were allegedly invited to the panel but turned them down, according to the Ombudsman's findings. Although some of the complaints, according to ABC Managing Director David Anderson, were barely veiled racial slurs, others were in reference to the conversation that took on as people arrived for the service. According to the study, the panel discussion's time slot between 5 and 6 p.m., when footage of the Abbey's arrivals was being televised, was what drew the greatest criticism and complaints to the ABC as, indicated by the complaints made, there were obviously moments where the footage from London did not correspond to the nature of the critical conversation being held by the panel in Australia. This was off-putting and distracting for some of the audience. The ABC has defended the reporting, stating that it was crucial to portray a diversity of views, and that this 45-minute conversation was only a small portion of their overall coverage of the day. The news that the king and queen consort will perform a second coronation ceremony in July, despite financial constraints this week, brought new controversy to the couple. The royals will receive the honors of Scotland during a special Scottish ceremony in the summer, during which they will be crowned and dedicated. The ceremony is anticipated to take place the day after Charles' garden party on July 4 in Edinburgh. However, this has not yet been confirmed. Between July 4 and July 6, Edinburgh Castle's crown room will be closed, and on July 5, the entire castle will be shuttered. The cost of Operation Golden Orb, the coronation's code name, was estimated at £100 million, with the majority of that money going toward security on the actual day. The Scottish event will allow the king to dedicate to his Scottish subjects, in contrast to the Church of England service held earlier this month in London. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.